Okay, guys, this is point one of the coin density lab. What I'm going to do is we're going to actually take a spreadsheet, we're going to share it with the group, and then what you guys are going to do is going to manipulate it to calculate the density of each of these coins from the measurements you guys took. All right, so the very first thing you can do, you cannot edit my document. You can only edit your document. So the first thing you need to do is you're going to bring your mouse over, go to File, drag down to make a copy, and then it's very important that we all name things in the same way. So it's going to be your username. Okay, when I say username, it's J Stoney for me. It's going to be whatever yours is. So username. You don't have to have the whole email address. And then silver density. Now it's very important that you name it this way because if you do share it with me, I'll be able to find it very, very quickly. All right, so now we've made a copy of our document. Say okay. Now the next thing you need to do while we're waiting for the document to pop up is we're going to have to share this document with me. All right, so what you're going to do is as soon as it completely loads, and that takes a little while because of the network, you're going to go File. No, I'm sorry, you don't go over there, you don't go to File, you go to Share, and you're going to say I want to share it with Jay Rasconi, and my name should pop up fairly quickly. It goes boom, and I believe when that happens you see the little picture that the kid made of me years ago, and you hit send. And that way now it doesn't matter, whatever you do, everything's going to be shared. Now this first video is going to be fairly short. All I want to do is clean things up a little bit. There's a couple of things we do not need. We don't need the timestamp, so I'm just going to click on that. I'm going to actually just hide the timestamp. All right, for some reason it doesn't let you delete it. I'm going to drag this year minted thing over. Now the reason year minted is important is it tells you what kind of dollar it is. Is it an Eisenhower dollar? Is it a Kennedy half dollar? It is interesting the way this has worked. I think we sorted this by weight, and it turns out the Eisenhower dollar and the Kennedy half dollar are a little bit lighter than the other ones. All right, diameter. Now we need diameter, we need thickness, and we need weight in order to calculate density, and then our group members. Okay, so now we have all of this done. There's a couple new columns we have to put in. Now to start off with, to figure out density, and I'm going to actually put it right here, column, density, I'm going to insert a column. I click at the top of the row, top of the column. I'm going to go insert to the left, and I'm going to call this density. Density, which equals mass divided by volume. All right? So now we know mass is the weight over here in grams, okay? And we also need to calculate the volume. So I'm going to actually put, another column here where we're going to calculate volume. Insert another one. And how do we calculate volume? Volume is the area of a circle, this is a cylinder. So it's the area of a circle, which is pi r squared, 3.14, which is close enough for us, because that's the level of accuracy we have, pi r. Now that's a problem because we have r equals whatever we got here, half of the diameter. So I'm going to go r times r, that's r squared, times height, which is the thickness. All right, so that's what we're going to get, and that's how you figure out volume. All right. So next thing we have to do is to say, okay, first thing we have to do is you look at this, well, we have diameter, we need radius. However, there is another thing. These are in millimeters, and we need the radius in centimeters, all right? So the fact is there are we need to move the decimal over, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to insert over here, we're going to insert radius, insert. And we're going to call this radius in centimeters. So we're going to actually have to do two things. All right, we're going to have to put in a formula where we take the diameter, divide it by 2, all right, and then we're going to take that number and we're going to divide it by 10, all right, because there are 10 centimeters in each, there are 10 millimeters in each centimeter. All right, so let's just take this. So we need to put in a formula now. Okay, you click, you insert you insert columns by doing this. We're going to put in a formula. All right, so the formula here equals, all right, so it's an equation, equals this number. Now I don't type in the number, I always select the cell. I just click on the cell and you notice that D2 pops up. Well, now I've got a formula here. I'm going to say D2. I'm going to put the backslash for divided by 2. And if I just hit enter, that's going to say, okay, well, half of the diameter is 18.85. But the problem is that's 18.85 millimeters and I want centimeters. Centimeters are 1/10 bigger. So what I need to do is I'm actually going to take this again. I'm going to go back to the formula. And I can either double click in the formula pick up. And I'm going to do this first. I'm going to put parentheses in for order of operation. So you notice I put open parenthesis D2 divided by 2. And then I'm going to divide that whole thing by 10. All right. And so what I'm going to get is, it was actually the radius of these coin, the Eisenhower dollar, was 1.885 centimeters. All right. Now, if you look at that, I can also do the same formula here. I can do the same thing again. If I want to do it again, I could so equals, and then I select the side. I select the cell, okay, equals, that's the diameter, divided by 2. Then I put this thing in parentheses, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, and I divide it by 10. And all I have to do is do that over and over again 100 times. That would be very boring. Let me explain what the thing about spreadsheets are. Spreadsheets were invented by and for lazy people. They don't want to do all of this over and over again. So they've shown a trick that I know that whatever, I always in the cell E, this column, it's always going to be what's in column D divided by 2 and then divided by 10. It's going to be the same thing. So all I have to do is repeat the same formula over again. So what I do is, if I click, and you notice how a little blue line shows up? If I click on the cell, you notice that little blue box at the corner? My cursor turns into a black cross when I go over that. All I have to do is left click, hold that down, and then I drag that formula down and it will do the same thing over again. That's called a relative drag fill, and it's going to repeat the same formula over and over again. All right, and so you notice the radius of the coins actually is fairly consistent. All right, the radius of the silver dollars is about 1.8. The radius of the, you get a few oddballs here. Here's an oddball. Okay, that's clearly there's a mistake there. This one seems a little bit big, but they're about 1.8. Then the Kennedy half dollars are about 1.5. All right, so now we've got radius. All right, so I think I want to do is I want to take a pause here because it's usually better to upload a lot of short videos and I'll upload a long one. So I'm going to upload this video right now.